EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Martins here with your outlook for the weekend, February 10th and 11th, 2024. It is Saturday, and the weekend video forecast is proudly sponsored by L.H. Zimmerman Lawn and Garden in Ephrata, Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. They are a small family business that supplies snow and ice control equipment to Pennsylvania and surrounding states. They carry a large supply of salt dog slide-in and receiver hitch spreaders, Fisher snowplows, Ariens snowblowers, and Ariens Mammoth sidewalk equipment. Along with their new equipment, they also sell an on-hand supply of parts for Salt Dog, Fisher, and Ariens. The benefit of purchasing from a small family business is they provide after-hours service for their equipment if you break down in a snowstorm. Stop into their location at 730 Glenwood Drive in Ephrata, Pennsylvania, or give them a call at the phone number above me here in the video, 717-733-4193. They will be happy to assist you or answer any of your questions. They are L.H. Zimmerman Lawn and Garden in Ephrata, Pennsylvania, proud sponsors of the weekend video forecast, and they are the title sponsor of the Weather Weekly's videos every Sunday throughout the winter months. So today, and actually this entire weekend, unfortunately, it's going to be mild, as you can see above me, but it's going to be a lot of clouds, okay? A lot of clouds today. We're going to have a few showers moving through in some areas this afternoon. Just isolated showers and very light and insignificant, but showers nevertheless. And then Sunday, we're looking at mostly cloudy skies and temperatures coming down a little bit from what we, actually quite a bit from what we saw on Saturday. Saturday, 55 to 60 is going to match yesterday's highs pretty much, maybe a degree or two higher in some places. But we do have this weak front moving through the region. It's going to be a few showers, but they're going to dissipate rather quickly. As you can see here, it just goes away. And you get over to the NAM high-res future simulated radar starting this off at noon today. You see some shower activity. Again, it's going to be mainly during the afternoon and mainly concentrated right across here. This is your areas that are most susceptible to any showers today, and maybe across the far northern tier as we get later in the afternoon as this moves away. And that's all we got, okay? So just an isolated shower, not a real big deal today, but it is going to be cloudy either way. Even though it's going to be mild, it still will be cloudy for the majority of the day today. And then Sunday, not much improvement in the cloud cover department, but we will have a dry day, it looks like, on Sunday with mostly cloudy skies and temperatures about 7 to as much as 10 degrees cooler, but still milder than average here on Sunday. Now, we're going to talk about this next system coming in because this is the winter storm potential. We don't have an issue anymore of deciding whether it's going to miss or not. It's not going to miss. It's just a matter of deciding exactly where the rain-snow line is going to be, and that is still something that's still in transition. We are going to have somebody's going to get hit with snow in our region, so we know there's going to be a snow map. I am not going to do you a disservice by doing the first call map that we normally do at 5 o'clock. We always do a 5 o'clock release. We're not going to do it at 5 o'clock this time. It's going to be on Sunday. That's going to be our first call. Shooting for 3 o'clock in the afternoon for this release. Reason being is, listen, I'm a big Philadelphia Eagles fan. Eagles are not in the playoffs. They were bounced in the first round. But I'm still a fan of football. I'm a fan of football, a fan of baseball. So I understand. I understand that people want to watch the game. They have plans. They have Super Bowl parties they have to go attend. I'm not going to release it at 5 o'clock and make you go through a whole spiel of, well, let's go with the map here. I know it's just going to clicking on social media when we release it and just going to that website and checking it out and reading the discussion if you read the discussion. But I'm not going to do that for you. So we're going to do this about 3 o'clock on Sunday for the first call, and about 24 hours later on Monday, we'll do the final call with any changes as necessary. So we do have a system coming in. This is a Miller B type system, which is involving a transfer. There isn't a true block up here, but there is a lot of confluence off the north here. This is confluence. So that's going to prevent this area low pressure from going too far to the north. It's going to run into, it's kind of like a pseudo block. It's not a block, but it almost is in a way that it's going to make it stop right here and then transfer to a secondary. It doesn't let it go too far, and then this secondary takes over and goes out in this direction, okay? And that's because of this confluence that's up here. It doesn't allow it to go anywhere, but it is a rather progressive Miller B system. This is not something that's going to be wrapping up and throwing a big blizzard like some Miller Bs can do, because we don't have true blocking. We don't have an NAO that's negative right now. We will once we get to mid-month. We don't have that yet, okay? So this is going to be a progressive, fast-moving in and out system. As early as late Monday afternoon this comes in, but it's going to come in as rain most likely for most areas initially. Then we get past midnight, late evening, midnight across the northern interior, you start changing over to snow, and that's because you have this system taking over as the primary, which is right here. This is already transferred now, and it's taking over the primary and heading out in this direction. Because it's doing that, it's drawing in cold air around this system. We talked about this yesterday. So by doing that, and with the presence of an upper level low, which is right about here, just to the left of that system, it's aiding in this transport of cold air, changing rain over to snow. That's what we're dealing with. So a northwest to southeast changeover, starting up in north central Pennsylvania and northeast PA and working its way down to the south and east. Okay, so we're timing this as far as, see that it does that. It's a rain and it goes over to snow, right? This is the European model that ran this evening, and this thing gets wrapped up and it starts drawing in all this cold air and making this rain snow line press further and further southeast. So that's the whole idea. Then the question is, how much precipitation is left when you get that changeover all the way down to like I-95 or places like that? I do think you see a changeover there too. It'll be late in the overnight, most likely, or early Tuesday morning, but you will have some changeover at the end. But how much precipitation is left at that point? Probably not a whole lot. So you're not going to get a whole lot near I-95, but you get up in the interior locations and you could be dealing with, a moderate to even significant snowfall in some areas. We're talking about places that change over first, north central PA, northeast PA. You might be in line for a 6+ event. And I do think that is a good, plausible idea for this, and that includes northern New Jersey. So we go across here to the GFS. I just want to show you what it's doing this evening. This is the latest one that ran this evening. Same thing. Starts off as rain, goes over to snow. You get a pretty good thump of snow that gets all the way, and I think the target areas right now are between I-78 and I-80, maybe a little bit north of I-80. Those are your target areas for what I would consider to be the heaviest axis of snow, kind of like right in here. That's between those lines. That's probably your heaviest snow axis with this particular system. But it's going to be a very heavy, wet, pasty kind of snow. It's not going to be dry and powdery. So it's going to be very heavy, wet stuff. And then this moves out again on Tuesday morning. The latest Canadian model was not on board up until this point, until we got to this evening. Guess what? It's now doing the same thing. It's at least trying. It doesn't have as much snow as some of the other ones, but it still has that same general idea. We start off as a little bit of rain, and then you go over to snow when it transitions northwest to southeast, and the long-range NAM is doing the same thing. So we're all pretty much synoptically locked on the same idea. It's just a matter of how much snow, or how quickly that snow changes over from northwest to southeast, which will determine snow amounts. That's all we're dealing with. There's going to be a period in between where you change from rain to snow, and you're going to be maybe snowing for an hour or so, where it's not really sticking because the temperatures of the ground are going to be warmer. So some of that's going to melt initially, but then it comes down heavy enough where that can start to accumulate. So synoptically, we have the same idea no matter what model you're looking at. Generally, this isn't all of a sudden going to be ending up in northern New England, I don't think. I think it's pretty locked on that part of it. But it's just a matter of exactly how much. And we're going to determine that between now and Sunday at 3 o'clock when we release the first call. Again, I'm going to do it a couple hours before Super Bowl so it doesn't interfere with your plans. And that will be the first call. The second call will be, of course, 24 hours later on Monday afternoon. And we'll go from there. But I do expect that we're going to need a map. Okay, definitely looks like a map and discussion is forthcoming, including text alerts and all that stuff that we do privately. But that's what we're looking at. Then after this system, it's going to be at least seasonably cold for a couple days, Wednesday, Thursday. Then we get to Friday, starts going down south again with the temperatures. It might be a weak system we have to watch here. It doesn't really show much here on the European model. This will be in Friday into Friday night kind of thing. There's a weak system there. Thursday night might touch off a rain or snow shower overnight. And then here's that other system here on Saturday. It's showing on the GFS. So we'll have to watch something after that, but it's not really looking like a big deal. GFS is trying to suggest it's marginal. I doubt it. It's probably going to be cold enough to snow. I don't know why it's showing marginal temperatures at this point, but we'll see. But that's down the road. I'm going to do one at a time, and we'll talk about this again on Sunday. I don't have another video again until Monday morning. So we'll go through a comprehensive look on Monday morning after our first call is already out. But on Sunday morning for Weather Weeklies, I will discuss this a little bit. This storm coming in right here, this one. Just to give you an idea what the trends are and where we're going to be leaning for our first call, which will come out mid-afternoon on Sunday. I'm EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Marters. That is your outlook for the weekend, February 10th and 11th, 2024. Have a great Saturday and Sunday.